to our channel. Thank you so much for joining me again. We are back and we're talking all things Real Housewives of Atlanta, so I hope you are ready. So I'm coming through today. I'm going to do 2 units. I'm going to do both from the Outre Wigpop collection. This is Leeda, okay, and then this baby right here is Bowie. All right, both from the Wigpop collection, but they're both full cap wigs, so won't take a lot of our effort, more just judging her and getting her together. And I figured since I've been running through these reviews the way I have, that we could stop, chit chat, get it together, and get 2 for 1. So let's go on in and jump on in to these units. I'm going to keep, I kind of am feeling what Leeda is providing, so I'm going to start with Bowie because I'm not too sure about that one. She's giving granny. So we'll start with her. Okay. So this was a really good episode to me. One, because it's kind of making me, because I don't have like my usual faves on the show, right? I'm forced to actually pay attention to everybody as an ensemble cast, as opposed to like usually back in the day, if I'm being honest, I would just fast forward. Like I did not care about what's going on in Candy's life, or even Kenya for that matter. I did not give a damn. And because once I decided I don't like people, I just don't like them. And that's just it for me. Like, I don't know what that says about me, but that's just it for me, or whatever the case may be. So I went through, we watched this, and it opens up with the girls checking out Marlo's new plot of land. So Kenya and Sheree meet her over there. And did y'all feel like Marlo had a bit of a battery in her back? Like, I do think that, you know, I think that there is a lot of conversation about her finances, where she gets her money from. How can she afford to build a home that's upwards of that amount of money? I mean, I know how mortgages work, but y'all picking up what I'm putting down. So it's been really fascinating to see how they navigate that. But I even thought, even personally, that the energy she was giving Kenya was team too much. And I'm never too much when it comes to Kenya. Okay, so see how it's a full cap? All right, adjustable straps for kind of forever. So it was really fascinating to see her, you know, be like, not like a mean girl, but be, yes, a mean girl. And is it me? Or do y'all think that I'm really also of the belief that Marlo don't got a lot to say? Like, I feel like she was so used to being the, not the comedic relief, but she was so used to being like a sidekick or a friend of the show, that now that she's actually a member of the show, I'm not too keen on what she's giving. Like, it's just not, I think it's going to get better. I'm saying that like from a space of like, I'm not too keen on it today. So they talk about them going to New York and what that looks like for them as well. And the fact that, you know, Sheree's not too sure about her situation with Drew and how she feels about that. And rightfully so. Drew is fascinating. And part of me be thinking Drew do stuff for show. If y'all picking up what I'm putting down. Because I be feeling like, if I don't look like motherfucking Whitney Houston. Yo! Why do I look like Whitney Houston? This is too much. Talk about going to New York and whether or not Sheree is going to see her felon, you know what I mean? Which I don't even want to do that because I do believe people can change. But I just don't like this for her because there is a population of these men who like got wives and they come home and they take care of their situation. But then it's a population of these men who was dipping and doing with a bunch of women and stuff like that. And I just hope Tyrone is not a part of that population, if you're picking up what I'm putting down. And I hope he means right by Sheree, because I'm kind of feeling the energy Sheree is on this season. Like, I'm feeling her. So I'm hoping that, you know, she's not getting bamboozled. I also thought, you know, with Candy being the producer of this particular show, it's really nice to see her kind of like promoting. At first I thought it was like, all right girl, we get it, but to know that she's a producer and she's just trying to get her money back makes all the more sense to me. So I really do hope that this is a successful production, and them going to New York and kind of shining light on it will really work for all of them. Now this is like a really easy one, so I'm kind of excited about that, but we want to flatten down the top. One of the other things that I wanted to talk about is, why do Drew got 4 assistants? Like, explain that to me. Like, it makes sense why Candy would have 4 assistants, but why does Drew have 4 assistants? Does anybody know? I just honestly felt like Drew is always over the top. She's always doing too much. And the moment somebody would have set up in my house and went back to somebody else and told them that my husband was doing whatever he was doing, whatever, just tell anything from out of my house, you have to go. You have to go. Why do these assistants not sign NDAs, y'all? I do not get it. I do not get it. Like, the same way he bringing back a bone to you, he taking one to her. And I think it's weird. I think it's weird that he's still there. I think it's weird that they have 4 assistants. What the hell does Ralph do for a living? Like, yeah, he work in tech. Like, what does that mean? What does that mean? Like, explain it to me. But, and I want to like Ralph, but he is a narcissist. And I don't even know if narcissist is the word. He's a gaslighter, textbook. And it's really, really freaking creepy. Now, they sit down, Drew and her husband, Ralph, and I'm starting to like this. They sit down and they talk to their therapist, which has been a therapist on this show. I feel like, is it me or he's been on this show before, right? He looks really, really handsome. I don't know what he did differently. I don't know if it's his, like, hair. I'm just judging the bank. I don't know if it's his hair, but I feel like he looks really freaking good right now. And I'm into that. Like, I'm like, okay, Dr. Ken, where you been? So, which way we gonna do it, y'all? We gonna do it like that. It's easy. $20. Not even. So they sit down and talk to Dr. Ken, and me and Joe are really big proponents of, like, couples counseling and everything like that. That's something that we really, especially if we're going through a hard time, we don't continue it, you know, when we're in a good run, but it's definitely necessary to go back and check in and everything like that. So it is nice to see that they are taking the steps to really make sure that they hold on to their marriage, because that's important, man. You gotta, like, work that shit out. Like, you really, really do have to be conscientious of the fact that, like, things change. Like, your feelings change, people change, and you gotta really keep up with that. So it's good to see that they're invested in that aspect of it. But Drew is over the top, and I can understand why he be annoyed. And I want to like Drew because I really want to like Drew. It's really upsetting to me that I don't, though. Them talk about that. But I also like that he had to stop them and say, like, I'm not in couples counseling, y'all are. So if y'all need to stop bringing me the fuck up and really work on y'all. And I think that, to me, that's what makes more sense. Like, that makes more sense to me. Like, y'all need to be in a space where y'all work it the fuck out. Like, don't be I'm gonna give you the tools, but don't use me as a pawn to be mean and nasty to each other, which they do. Also, when he told Drew that she need to be in the moment, didn't I tell y'all that? Now, didn't I tell y'all that? The biggest issue I had with her is that she just wasn't in the moment. Like, he did do a lot for you, the effort that it took to do that. Who's to say he don't got an issue with what you do, how you do, whatever the case may be? Like, you need to be more conscientious of the fact that y'all are spending time with each other and cherish those moments. And I feel like she's lost. But she gonna get it together, and I like the exercise that he gave him. Because get them together, Dr. Ken. Because ain't nobody gonna deal with Ralph, and ain't nobody gonna deal with Drew, but them each other, okay? So, let's move on into the invite. Candy sent a sexy ass invite. I would love an invite like that. So if y'all ever want to invite me somewhere, send a bad bitch to my house, okay? Like, send a bad bitch to my house. That's all I want. Like, I'm upset. I was obsessed. But what I thought was weird, though, y'all ain't think it was weird that the play don't got nothing to do with sex, but she was giving out sex toys? Like, it would have made more sense to me if the play had was something about that, and then you did that. But to just do that was kind of, like, weird. And to Kenya's point about, like, being clear, even though she was clear about, like, if you got somebody, bring them, which I don't know why Kenya was upset that people bought their spouses, but I felt like it was still a bit over the top, despite the fact, like, it just had nothing to do with nothing. Like, it was very fascinating. It really, really was. Even though I loved the invite. I loved it. It was so hot. It was so sexy. I loved it. And I'm telling all my friends out there, please send me a bad bitch to my door, and that's it, and that's all. Okay, bye. The next thing is, I want to back up to Marlo's plot of land. I'm all for building. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm all for building a home. Shut up, sorry. Move on. Because I was going to say, where y'all getting this money from? But you know what? That ain't none of my business. If you out there selling poom poom to the highest bidder, baby, get your motherfucking check. Okay? And that's just how I feel about it. Let me mind my business. Let me stop pretending like I would even give a damn. Because I wouldn't. Because I wouldn't. Okay? Now, they told sex stories. They get to New York. Sheree was being polite. Did y'all see her sitting next to Drew in the scene? So to me, y'all couldn't have been that upset or whatever the case may be. Y'all, I'm into this. I'm more into this than I expected. Let's talk about Kandi and Todd. I really want to get into their dynamic or whatever the case may be, because I think that, you know, I think they're going through like a little itch where they might need a little opportunity to kind of like, you know, talk to somebody too, like in the same way that like Drew and her husband is. I think it might be time, because I can see how he could feel like he's taking a back seat to her. And as someone, they said something so poignant, I thought, today when I watched the episode, and they were talking about how like sometimes you get so used to being in the spotlight that you don't make concessions for the people around you. And when I tell you, that is something I had to deal with my husband. He's so used to everything being about him that it requires effort for him to make things about other people. You know what I mean? And at first it was an issue for me, if I'm being honest. So I can understand how he's feeling that way. And she a Taurus, so everything is about the money for her child. Everything. Am I not giving Tina Thy Turner? So I do get where he's coming from. I'm just using my Y2 cone on this house. I absolutely positively get where he's coming from, and I think that it's worth them like talking to somebody about it, because I also think I could say that and think that Todd and Kandi are absolutely positively perfect for one another. I think that they're so cute. They look cute together. I think that, you know, he just needs to feel a little bit appreciated, and like he's contributing as well, which y'all both eating, so y'all be all right. But you know what I mean. Like, he needs to feel like, look, I got something that I can bring to my children and they can hold on to as well. Like, you aren't the only one. And we don't have to do your plan just because I'm entitled to having my own, you know, like way of life too, or how I handle things as well. And I think it's worth chit-chatting about that. And even the way that she talked about like the apartment and stuff. Now, be honest. Could you live in an apartment that your man's ex... Yeah. Could you live in an apartment that your man's ex used to live in? Go ahead, say your piece, sis. I was going to chop these bangs, but I'm just going to pull them back. I'm just going to pull them back. Because it's not that I can't. Oh, my little, y'all see my black hair showing? That ain't hot. That ain't hot. It's like a baby bathing suit. So, I get where Kandi is coming from. We're like, bro, this is your business. Like, this was your friend, your little female friend or whatever, not mine. Why do I gotta stay here? But then on the other hand, I'm like, if you were to revamp it, do everything different, what would be the big deal? Like, what would be the big deal? You know what I mean? Like, it's so different now. And I think that, but then on the other hand, I think I'm speaking from a place of, we can only, you know, what I can afford. Hello? Y'all can afford to live somewhere else, so why not just put that bitch on Airbnb and call it a day? You know what I mean? Like, why are we trying to hold on to it so hard? So I understand her on that one. Like, we don't even need this. Like, we could, like she said, we could stay in a hotel and call it a day. They can clean up after us, and then we'll be fine. And I'm kind of into this a little bit. It's a little bit wild, but I'm into it. But I like that they had the conversation. I also like that we got an opportunity to see the place, which I kind of thought. I don't know what I thought it was going to look like, but I'm glad it looked better than I thought it did. How about that? How about that? I wasn't sure, because sometimes you get equipped and used to a certain lifestyle, and people like, you know, it ain't looking the way that the expectation was supposed to be set for. How about that? And it wasn't giving Shaq like I thought it was. It was given. And I appreciated that. What I didn't like was the sex story thing. I don't know why I didn't like that. I don't know if I'm a prude or me and my husband, and me and my husband talk about stuff like that. We don't have no problem. We're open. You know what I mean? Like, well, we ain't that motherfucking open. Okay, slow down, ho. But we are like sex positive. So we're very much like, you know, people who we don't mind talking about certain things or doing certain, how y'all feeling about this? Let me know in the comments. Or doing certain things or whatever the case may be. So we do kind of like engage. Me and him talk about stuff like that in front of people. Sometimes. I thought it was a little bit off-putting because some of the girls were single. I think that's why I thought it was off-putting, to be honest. Some of the girls were single and I thought that was weird. But I guess when you get a little bit older, they're not much older, but when they, you know, never mind, let me shut up before I age myself. But I guess when you're a little bit older, it's not that big a deal. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's whatever. Like, we all screwing, so what's the big deal or whatever the case may be. Do y'all think that Kenya's story was true? Because to me, it was a lie. It was lying. It was lying like a dead dog. Okay? How y'all feel about this? So I thought it was a bit liar pants on fire. I love that Marlo really should have got the room. She came up with the best goddamn story, if we being honest. When she said that the Rev looked at her face, I said, oh my God. And then I was like, wait, this can't be true. So we was gonna give it to a liar. We should have gave it to Marla. That's number one. Number two, why did Drew and Ralph's story make me cringe? It made me cringe. And I don't know why y'all like, Y'all ever want to send your girl a gift, send me some salt and vinegar chips, child. Hers, baby, hers. But I thought that it was like a little bit, I don't like doing things in mixed company like that. We ain't gonna be talking about my man Yang Yang and all that shit like that. I think that's a little bit off-putting, but I do enjoy being around couples who are sex positive. I enjoy being around couples who are open. I really do. I just don't want it to be like raunchy. You know what I mean? Which I don't think this was. So we talked about the hotel. Let's fast forward to the Mimi Tate, because this is the piece de resistance. Let's fast forward to the restaurant, okay? So also at the dinner, they discussed why Candy and Drew don't wear their wedding rings, which I find so fascinating because Candy had to fight the entire old lady gang to get married to motherfucking Todd. I would be wearing that ring all the time. Or get yourself like a little dummy ring or something like that. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Do you think that that's a necessity? Like if you have a ring, you need to wear it? Or does it not matter? Like, you know what I mean? For me, my husband has no bullshit like 7 rings. He has 7 different rings for all different types of outfits, child. He got a ring. So and I know even when I'm like, sometimes I swell if I eat too much like salt or sugar. And I don't need y'all in the comments talking about my hypertension or that. I know. But sometimes I swell and it hurts my hand that wear my ring. So I'll just like pull it off and like put it to the side or whatever the case may be. And he is livid. Do you hear me? Livid. So for me, I feel like in our household, it's like, no, you're wearing the motherfucking ring. I bought it. Why did I buy it? You know what I mean? So I wonder how the guys really feel about that. I really, really do. They're having a conversation. Everybody's chit-chatting and talking. They get on Ralph and Drew. First thing first, I thought it was very nice of Kenya to stand up and stick up for Drew. I did. I thought it was very nice of her. The more I watch Kenya, the more I realize I actually really am growing to have an affinity for her. And I don't know why. I feel like she's softer now. She don't feel like she got as much to prove. So maybe she's not coming off so like, rah, rah, rah. So it was really good to like see her being a girl's girl, talking about girls things or whatever the case may be. And just being honest with somebody else, right? Now, there was a line I feel like that she crossed that it ain't a human being alive, down to my husband's mother, that I would feel okay with them reading my husband. I would take issue. Like I would take issue with, and it could even be for me, and that might say something about me. I might have Stockholm syndrome. I don't know, child. But what I'm getting at is that I do think it's important that people still sharp and still, right? So I do think it's important to be in couples groups and have couples conversation and talk about shit that's fucked up and really get a different perspective. But however, that's under the guise that you ain't really coming at my man too much. Because if you know a narcissist and you know a classic gaslighter, that's who they are. It is so abundantly hard for them to get out of that pattern. You know what I mean? So you having this conversation with him at the table ain't gonna really change a mother thing. I'm just gonna have to go home and really be dealing with this shit. And high key, Drew was glad. Drew was glad she did it because she was saying all the shit she wanted to say and she ain't have the heart to do, or she didn't have it. She can't do, because now they doing this like 1 month of not being combative with one another. Which, on that note, I would give Kenya props. But I did think it went too far when she was like, well, what are you laughing at? Or what are the... Girl, slow down. Not too much. Not too much with my husband. Not too much. Slow down. Now, I know he ain't shit, but bitch, that's for me to say. You slow up. You've done enough. You're appreciated. Move along. Okay, because where your husband at? And a lot of y'all gonna be like, I don't need a husband. I have an idea. Blah, 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 blah. Nah, bitch. No. In this conversation, where's your husband? Where's your husband? Okay, and I felt like there was a moment where it went from one place to another. Now, let's be clear. He is a gaslighter in the same way that Kenya's ex-husband was. Let's be abundantly clear. Okay, the texture of his hair is really beautiful, just so you guys know. Let's be abundantly clear. He's a gaslighter. He's all the things that Kenya said. All of them. So she's not wrong. You know what I mean? It's just more around the lines of... slow down, slow up about mine. You know what I mean? Like, we feel you, we understand you trying to hold us down, sis, and let's appreciate it, but you're doing a bit too much for me. Now, I really need to know what y'all think about this, because I am giving when my heart's beat. First of all, that was my Tina Turner impression, no judgment, but I'm kind of into this look. I don't know why. Now, I just felt like she just took it a little too far. But when they pan back to show how her ex-husband was a gaslighter, ooh, did y'all cringe? Did y'all cringe? I cringed. Now, the other thing I want to get at is how did it go from Kenya caping for Drew to Kenya calling Drew out? How? It happened so fast. I didn't understand it. So then... you know, sure, but that's textbook Kenya. That is textbook Kenya. Like, girl, pick a side. Oh my God, it burns me up. But what I did find funny was how Sheree was ready with the receipts, honey. Like, you was ready to be called out and looked at me and dead in his face like, he called you gay. He already told me you was gay. I was like, I can't take it. I cannot take it. What is he supposed to do with this information? What do we do? Do we go home? Do we fire him? Like, what do we do? It was too much. And so good at the same time. It was really a really good episode. I really am getting to like Candy and Kenya a lot more. I think it's because I got the opportunity to really start watching them fully and seeing them show up fully. And it's been really nice. It's been really nice, if I'm being honest. So I'm eating crow from my first 2 episodes, or first 3. Let me know what you thought about this episode. What did I miss? Marlo is stressing me out. And girl, we talking about your money because you talk about your money. Point blank and D period. So yeah, y'all, get into these $20 wigs, honey. And I'll see you beautiful mother jumpers later. Bye.